Right, here we go. So this will be the finale of the tailgate. So as we left it last time, all the skins were welded, all the major welding was done. It's really just sort of a bit of a fessling, and then it's going to be a bit of filler work, and then it's just going to be paint. So let's crack on. So step one is going to be to tackle any major flaws in the new panel before we go any further. So that's going to be basically, this is the major culprit here. As you can see, I had to fight quite a lot to get this lip to bend over. So this is going to be sanded back. So we're going to use 120 grit disc on a sander. We're just going to take this back to bare metal, this section here, and then we'll apply a layer of filler. It won't be a lot. It's very, very minimal. It's just created a very small crease here. So we'll just do that. And any other small imperfections that we find, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's any more. But what I will do with the 120 disc is I will just go around the edge, all around the lip here, just because we have got a little bit of chipped paint. So we'll just take that bit back to bare metal, and then we'll be able to feather that quite nicely in with some wet and dry paper before we go any further. I have used some body filler on the back of the panel. I'll show you that in a minute when we sand that down. And that was basically just because there was a couple of small areas where I'd done some spot welds and they just needed the dressing. But as you can see, looking down the panel, there's not really any major dents. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really deserve perfection, that paintwork, so we're not going for anything major. So let's tackle that first, and then we'll go through a few other bits and pieces. Okay, so we're just waiting for the second layer of filler to dry, and then we won't be far off wet sanding. So this just turned up yesterday. This is from Buzzweld. I've never used them before, but I've heard really good things about them. So we'll see what we've got here. So this should be all the bits we need to finish the tailgate now, as in regard to painting it. So we'll do a little unboxing and see what we have got here. Without cutting myself with the scissors. Right, let's have a look. So we should have, let's have a look, a couple of cans of primer, a couple of cans of paint, and some wet and dry sanding. So let's have a little look to see what we've got, shall we? Oh, wow. Can't fault them on their packaging, can you? Okay, so we've got some wet and dry paper. So this is what we'll use really just to finish it off. If we haven't got the right grade in there, because I don't know what grade it comes with, I have got some. And we got, what's this? Tuscan blue, and it's a direct gloss. Apparently this is one of the best cans that you can use. You could go for sort of like a base and then a clear, but apparently this direct gloss, just primer and off you go. So we've got a couple of cans of that, and we've got, oh, hang on, that's the same, that's the same. And there we go, 2 cans of grey primer. It wasn't actually too expensive. I think all of this lot, including 24-hour postage, came for £55. So yeah, there's 2 cans of Tuscan blue. So yeah, never used their products, but we'll soon see what they're like. Heard good things about them, and we'll soon see. But yeah, so let me just take you over to the panel and show you what stage you're at now. So it's all basically sanded down, all the sort of low spots that were done. When you're folding the edges over on these panels, it's very hard not to make any imperfections, because obviously you're beating a lip over. So we've rounded the edges off a little bit, made that a little bit nicer. We're on the second coat of filler on the edges here. And the gradient of sandpaper that we've gone through is, I shall tell you, let me just put you down here for just a second, and I'll just tell you what we've, oh, there you go, camera, what we've used. So obviously we sanded it down to bare metal in the areas that needed work on with a 120. We used a 120 to sand that down, and then we've obviously applied a layer of filler. We sanded that down to a 120, and then we've gone over it with a 180. So what we need to do now is let this dry, then we'll do another 120, another 180, and then we'll go through a different couple of gradients of wet and dry sandpaper. Then we'll prime it, then we'll wet and dry it again, and then we'll put the paint on. So hopefully in this episode we'll get all of that done. Well, actually, hopefully today we'll get it all done. It is getting on a little bit, but it is quite nice and warm. So let's see where we go. Right, so that is all of the sanding done. So we went through a 120, 180, and then we wet and dried the entire panel with a 360. So the next step is going to be to prime it. So you can see it's come out quite nicely. It's all been wet sanded on the back there. So yeah, so we'll be doing the primer, which will be this one, which is buzzweld's grey primer. There we go, it doesn't have any other kind of name. So we'll be putting that on there. Once that's on there, we'll probably leave it tonight and just let that dry. Then we'll come in and we will be going through a couple of different stages of wet sanding, dry that out again, and then it'll be time to paint it. So tomorrow, fingers crossed, we'll have the entire tailgate all in paint. No, I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm not going to rush it, but yeah. So I'll just stick it on a time lapse now. We'll just prime it. We'll do the reverse side first. Then we'll flip it over and do the front. And then we'll leave it at that. So yeah, let's stick it on a time lapse. Well, there you go. So now the whole tailgate is in primer, and we've got a little friend who's decided to join us. That's just great. Actually, you can see there, this is the reason that we're going to do a couple of coats of primer, is there's a few pinholes that I hadn't really noticed. I didn't notice those at all, and I did look quite hard. But yeah, so hopefully a couple of wet sanding coats on that will fill those little holes in with the primer. But yeah, must say I'm pretty happy with the quality of the paint that came out of the cans from Buzzweld. It did do quite a nice coverage. I used 2 cans, one for the back and one for the front, just because I didn't want to run out of one halfway through. But I think we'll agree that's come out pretty nice. I'll just show you my setup, how I've been doing this, just for anyone that's interested. I did work in a body shop for a couple of months when I was younger. That doesn't mean I know what I'm doing, so don't follow anything I do thinking that I do. So step one is always just to make sure everything's clean. And I've wetted the floor, keeps the dust down. Plenty of ventilation, got the doors open, run an extractor fan just to pull any of the fumes out afterwards. I do run that at the same time. Using a couple of mole grips just to anchor it there, and a block of wood that's wedged in, so it's not going to go anywhere. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with how that's come out. So next time you see me, it will be tomorrow morning, and we'll hopefully be wet sanding this and putting a top coat on it. See you then. It's the morning, next day, as you can see, nice and cold, Christmas Eve 2022. So the next stage that we've got to do is get rid of this stupid fly that's stayed there all night. It's probably stuck to it. We're going to go through and wet sand the whole panel, and then hopefully we'll have time to paint it as well. I've only got a couple of hours here today because we're off to go and do Christmas Eve things. We're going to start with 800 wet and dry, and we're just going to give the inside and outside of the panel, well, sorry, the front and the back of the panel, a good going over. So I'll time lapse that, then we'll dry it off, and then it'll be painting time. That's the panel all wet sanded now, and we're just drying it off. Just trying to raise the temperature a little bit in here, so it's a bit better to spray, because it's only about 4 degrees. I know that's not an optimal temperature. Sorry if you can't hear me, it's pretty loud, that thing. So yeah, we just need to get this all dry off. I'll dry it off with the heat gun in some of the crevices, make sure all the water's out, then it's painting time. Okay, so here's our setup. Everything has been dried correctly. It's all very nice and dry. I've been over it various times, used an airline on it, no water on any of the panel, which is good, and the finish looks like it's come out pretty well. Got the number plates around, didn't film that, but that's what's been primed and wet sanded with 800 grit. We've got the heater going. We're just waiting until we reach 10 degrees. We're at 8 at the moment. It's been going for about an hour, and it started at 3 degrees, so it shouldn't take too long to get there. We've also got an extractor here, and this isn't going to be too close to the panel, as you can see. This just removes some of the fumes, and then that's just going to exit down there, sort of outside. Obviously I'll be wearing a mask as well. While we're just waiting for those few minutes, just for the heater to heat the room up a little bit more, thought we'd just go through this and get one of these cans prepped. So what we've got here is remove cap, insert metal ring provided, and pull out and twist 360 degrees to release activator, and shake for about 2 minutes. So we will do that now. For anyone that's interested, I've never done one of these before, so this will be new for everyone. Okay, so we've got ring. There's the ring. Insert the ring into the thingy. Oh, yep. There's a little hole. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, sorry. You see that little hole? That's where that ring goes into. Yeah, ring's in there. Okay. Pull it out and twist 360 degrees to release activator. Okay. There we go, I felt that pop. That's released activator. And then shake the aerosol for at least 2 minutes after the agitator ball is free. And then we can start painting. So I'll just shake this for 2 minutes now. And then we'll go on a time lapse of me painting the panel. Look at the sheen on that. I'm really, really happy with that. Obviously the panel was never perfect, but I think considering that that's come out of the spray can, and that's just 2 coats of paint, that's come out pretty well, to be fair. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. You can see the reflection of that. It's almost dry now, it's just a bit tacky. So we'll be able to flip this panel over and spray the front. What I think I'll do, just because I've got 2 cans, I'm not sure how much I used of that one actually. Where did I put it? I don't know what I did with the can. Oh, it's over here, is it? Yeah. See how much of that's left. Probably a quarter. So there's definitely enough there to do the reverse side of the number plate plinth. So we'll probably use this can to do the number plate plinth, and then we'll just get the other can and do the front of the tailgate. I don't want to run out halfway through. which would be really, really irritating. Oh, there's the paint code if anybody wants it. This is from Buzzweld, direct gloss LRC 236 Tuscan Blue. Yeah, very, very impressed. Oh, this is not a sponsored video, by the way. They're not sponsoring me. But Buzzweld, if you're watching and you do want to sponsor me, actually, Buzzweld, if you do sponsor me, I'll paint the entire Range Rover of your products. So I'm so impressed with how this has come out. But yeah, let's see what happens. So that's, sorry again, I'm wearing a mask. That's straight out the gun, that's 2 coats. And I think, we'll agree, that is a pretty good finish. I'm quite happy with that. And there's number plates around. That's gone off. Hang on, let me take this off the tripod and we're going to have a proper look. There we go. Look at the quality of that paintwork. Considering that's come out of a, I'll be honest, I've worked in a paint shop and I wouldn't really know much difference there between that and a paint gun. Really, that was fantastic. That was actually a pleasure to paint, and I hate painting things, but that's come out really, really well. Yeah, there you go. Look, you see a nice little bit of orange peel there, nice coating, nice coverage, and that's 2 coats that was. And there's the number plate flip. You can see nice gloss on there. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll leave it here, just keep it nice and warm for another 10-15 minutes. And then I'm going to go take a dog for a walk and go to the pub with my girlfriend, and then we'll pop back here in a few hours and we'll see what it's like when it's dry. So see you in a few hours. Here we go. So I did come back and have a look at it after we went to the pub. That was mainly just to turn the heating and the lights out. This is now the 28th of December, so it's had a good few days to dry. So you can see the quality of that paintwork is fantastic. Have noticed though that the colour is not a good match to the car. Whether that's because the car is faded, I don't know. You can see there's quite a bit of a colour difference there. I'm not that bothered, to be completely honest with you, because it's obviously it's going to be on the back section of the Range Rover. But it was the right colour code. I don't know if it's just a darker tint or if it's the paintwork that's faded. Yeah, but overall, looking at the quality of the paintwork, I'm over the moon. I really am. As I say, this isn't a sponsored video from Buzzweld or anything like that. I merely just bought their products because I was told they were good, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. Considering that's come just straight out of a can, that is exceptional. So I'll probably just give it a flat and a polish, or I will just leave it. I'm not sure. I'll probably just leave it, to be fair, because as I say, it's not like we're doing a top-end restoration on the paintwork or anything. But yeah, so that's the end of the video now for this one. On the next episode, we will be doing a full build on the tailgates. That'll be putting the latches, the hinges, the swing away number plate, new number plates, new badges, everything on this tailgate, and then it will be done. And then we can move on to the back of the Range Rover. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions, please let me know. I'm going to just write in the description everything I did as a sort of a guide to how I got to this stage. But just remember, I'm not a professional when it comes to paintwork, so you know, that paint might just fall off, knowing my luck. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.